This is the Wire Weekly Rollup for the week of March 17th through the 23rd, 2024. Beginning with international events, in Haiti, the situation remains tenuous as violence continues. Evacuation flights continue to be undertaken, mostly by helicopter, as many nations evacuate their citizens from Port-au-Prince. In Russia, this week an attack on the Crocus City Hall concert venue in Moscow left an estimated 133 dead and many others wounded. Most of the assailants were captured alive, and enhanced field interrogation techniques have indicated that the motive for the attack may have been financial rather than ideological. Aside from the terror attack, substantial changes have been observed in Russia on the military front with regards to the conflict in Ukraine. Just a few hours before the Crocus shooting, the Kremlin announced that Russia is shifting into a state of war in Ukraine. Analyst Comment. Up until this point, Russia has always referred to the conflict in Ukraine as a special military operation, stopping short of calling the conflict a war. This policy shift also came after Russia conducted a precision strike on the power generation units of the Dnipro hydroelectric station, which provides power for the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station in southeastern Ukraine. In Africa, the ruling military council in Niger has announced the cessation of the military agreement, allowing American troops to remain stationed in the country. Following the military coup last year, the majority of U.S. involvement in the region was largely confined to what is publicly known as Base 201. This base is a major hub for U.S. operations conducted against ISIS throughout the region. In the Far East, China continues to make preparations for what is generally recognized as the most likely national objective over the next few years, the reunification of Taiwan. Tensions have been exacerbated following several incidents over the past few weeks. The expansion of American military deployments to Kinmen Island has also worsened relations, along with the typical fishing disputes. However, China also continues to expand influence and control into the more far-flung regions of the Earth. This week, Chinese officials met with Nigerian politicians with the goal of establishing a national railway network throughout Niger. Chinese officials also met with Ismail Haniyeh, a senior Hamas official, marking the first time Chinese representatives have officially met with Hamas since the recent escalation of conflict in Israel. On the home front, in Arkansas, Brian Malinowski died of his wounds following being shot by ATF agents during a raid on his home this week. Malinowski was the executive director of the Bill and Hillary Clinton National Airport in Little Rock. He has been affiliated with the airport in varying capacities for over 30 years and was appointed to this position in 2019. In Washington, D.C., Congress passed the $1.7 trillion omnibus spending bill. In Texas, the border crisis continues as increasingly violent illegal immigrants begin demonstrating more combative behavior towards American military forces defending the border. This week, journalists have been prevented from accessing locations near the border by federal Customs and Border Patrol agents, drawing down the potential locations by which footage can be obtained of the thousands of illegals being trafficked into the United States by federal agents daily. Analyst Comment. As a reminder, deportations have slowed to being nearly non-existent at this point, with even the DHS confirming that the overwhelming majority of illegals encountered at the border are released into the United States. Analyst Comments for this wire. Russia has provided data that suggests the Moscow shooters had an egress route planned and were destined for Ukraine. However, this is not necessarily a strong indicator by itself. Ukraine would be the logical method of egress after conducting such an attack in any case. The point of distinction comes if Ukraine had any prior knowledge of the attack and helped pre-plan the escape route, which is not entirely clear at this time considering the reliability of relying on single-source reporting originating from the Russian government. Regardless of the details made available to the public, in the public address following the incident, Russian President Vladimir Putin very clearly attributed blame for the attack to Ukraine. Consequently, a further escalation of the conflict in Ukraine is likely over the next few weeks. Regarding the U.S. presence in Niger, the importance of Base 201, combined with the questionable nature of the ruling power in Niger, limits the courses of action open to the United States. Following the coup last year, it is almost certain that the United States was waiting on an ECOWAS-led intervention operation that would restore a regime more friendly to U.S. presence in the region. This operation never came, and most ECOWAS member states are experiencing domestic instability in their own nations. On the other hand, the statements and attitudes expressed by Niger could also be a shakedown operation, intending to soften relations with the United States and allow troops to remain in Niger for a price. Conversely, Chinese influence cannot be understated, and if the price is right, may result in a reduction of U.S. presence in the region if it is to occur. This concludes the Wire Weekly Rollup for the week of March 17th to the 23rd, 2024.